Hello friends, we have seen in earlier video what is force. So we have defined force is an agent which changes the state of body. Which changes the state of body. Means from static to dynamics or from dynamics to static. Force is a vector quantity and the unit of force is Newton. Now here going further, suppose if I take this is a game what you have played when you are small, tug of war. Two parties, they are pulling the rope on either side. Suppose this is applying 10 Newton and this is applying 15 Newton. This person 15 Newton and this person 10 Newton. So this is pulled towards left and this is pulled towards right. If you see to the force that is applied on the left hand side is 25 Newton. And the force that is applied on the right hand side is also 25 Newton. So nothing will happen to the system, the knot will remain there only. So such a system of force we call it as a equilibrium of forces. Now suppose if one of them is strong, 15, so 25 is left, so 15 plus 15, this will be 30, pull towards right. Now you see that the right side team is stronger than the left side team. So what will happen? So I can show that there is a force of 5 Newton which is acting towards left, towards right. Because the difference you find here 15, 15, 10 and 15. So the difference is 15 towards right. So here this force what I am showing as single force, we call it as the resultant force. Because whatever effect you are seeing in this force system, you see the same effect in the resultant. So here we come across a definition what is known as resultant force. Resultant force. If a number of forces are simultaneously acting at a point, then all the forces can be replaced by a single force known as resultant force. Whatever effect is produced by the system of forces, same effect is produced by the resultant. So here if there are number of forces acting, all the forces can be converted into a single force. This single force is known as the resultant force. What is the effect produced by the system of forces, same effect is produced by the resultant. Now here what I am doing is I am combining all the force into a single force. This method what I am doing, we call it as composition of forces. Composition of forces. So what is composition forces? Composition of forces is the method of finding resultant. Whenever you find out the resultant of a number of forces, the method we call it as composition of forces, or we also call it as compounding of forces. So here we have combined all into one. There is another definition what we will be saying is resolution of forces. Resolution of forces. Now suppose there is a force acting here, P, making an angle theta. Now this single force what you are seeing can be split into two perpendicular directions. So when you split the force in two perpendicular directions, we call it as the resolution of forces. Usually we split in x and y direction. So what is the resolution of forces? Splitting of forces, splitting of force in two perpendicular direction. Two perpendicular direction. These directions are usually x and y direction, horizontal and vertical. Now here we will see how to find out the resultant of a system of forces. So here we are using the method known as resolution of forces for finding out the resultant. We will see how to resolve a force in two perpendicular directions. And this is a very important method that I am explaining you, because your whole mechanics will depend upon how to resolve the forces horizontally and vertical, how to resolve a force into two perpendicular directions. So we have seen composition of forces, we have seen resolution of forces. Suppose if I consider axis y and x, and if I consider a force P which is acting here, magnitude is P, direction is theta, point of application is O. So these are the specifications of force. So this is in x direction and this is going in y direction. Now my aim is to split this force into two perpendicular directions. If I project it horizontally, so this ordinate or this distance we call it as the horizontal component of the force if I project it horizontally. Likewise, if I project it on y-axis, so this distance we call it as the vertical component of the force, or sigma x, sigma y, or x and y. So projecting horizontally is horizontal component, projecting vertically is vertical component. Now we know force is a vector quantity. Suppose a force of say 100 Newton is acting. If I take a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 10 Newton, then I will have to draw a line OA. This OA is representing the force P to some scale. Now here, when I draw paper on x-axis, suppose this, if I call it as B and this as C. Horizontal projection OB, vertical projection C. Now if you see here, OB is nothing but PH and OC is nothing but PV, the horizontal and vertical component of the force. Suppose if I consider this triangle OAB, OAB. Now here, if you see here, OB divided by OA, OB divided by OA, it is a right angle triangle. So this will be adjacent by hypotenuse, and adjacent by hypotenuse is known as cos theta. Now OB is here PH and OA is P, so this will be equal to cos theta. So PH will be equal to P cos theta. So what I have written here, the horizontal component of the force P is given by P cos theta. Likewise, if I take AB divided by OA, so this will be equal to OB is opposite and OA is hypotenuse. Opposite by hypotenuse is sin theta. Now here AB is nothing but PV. PV by P is equal to sin theta. So vertical component of the force is P sin theta. So force P I split horizontally P cos theta, vertically P sin theta. So this is the way what we will be resolving the forces. Now I will show you a very simple method of resolving the forces without doing all these things. Now here if you see this rectangle, this has got two equal areas. Now if you see to this area which I am shading, this we call it as shaded area. Shaded area. Why I am shading it? Because it has got angle in it. So I can also call it as angle area, because it has got angle there. Now this if you see there is no shaded, so this is non-shaded area. Shaded triangle, non-shaded triangle. Now if I want to resolve the force, see here. Now suppose if I take this force, this is the head and this is the tail, indicating the direction of force. Now let me keep this force here like this, along the direction P, this is the angle theta. See, if I go like this, we get the horizontal component as P cos theta. Okay, now same force, if I go like this vertically, then the resolution is P sin theta. Now the important thing you see here is, when I resolve the force horizontally, I am going along the shaded area. That is, I am going along the angle. So whenever I go along the angle, the resolution of that force is P cos theta. So whenever I go along, A-L-O-N-G, along the angle, the resolution of that force is cos. Now same, if I resolve the force vertically, I am going away from angle. So whenever I go away from the angle, the resolution of that force is sine. Now, if I resolve the force horizontally, it is along the angle, so it is cos. If I resolve the force vertically, I am going away from the angle, we call it as sine. Now, whenever we resolve the force, we will not say horizontal or vertical. We always say along or away. Whether you are going along the angle or you are going away from the angle. Whenever you go along the angle, you call it as cos. And whenever you go away from the angle, the resolution of that force will become sine. So this is the simplest principle you will have to remember to resolve a force. If you follow this, mechanics is very simple for you. You can very easily solve all the problems without any hindrance. Now here, suppose as an example, we will see whether we have followed this principle along and away. Along is cos, away is sine. So let us take here a simple example. I will take the force P here. It is making an angle theta, or let me call this angle is alpha. This angle I will take it as beta. Now here this is the force P which is acting. We want to resolve this force horizontally and vertically. We will see what will happen if I consider alpha or what will happen when I consider beta. So here we will go for composition with respect to alpha, then with respect to beta. Now let us see here. I want to go for horizontal component of the force. See here, I will hold the force. This is my angle alpha. So when I resolve it horizontally, what I am doing? I am going along the angle. And when I go along, what is the resolution? Cos. So it is P cos of which angle? Alpha. Now same force, if I want to resolve horizontally with respect to beta. Now see, with respect to, forget alpha. So with respect to beta, if I resolve it horizontally, I am going away from beta. And what is away? Away is sine. So it will be P sine which angle? Beta. P sine beta. Likewise, if I want to resolve the force vertically, PV, if I take alpha, if I resolve it vertically, I am going away from the angle. So what is away? Sine. So this will be P sine of alpha. If I consider alpha. Now same force, if I resolve vertically, I am going with beta. So that is along the beta. So what is along here? Cos. P cos of beta. So if you understand this, whether the angle is given alpha or beta, you can resolve the force horizontally and vertically. The principle what you will be using is along is cos, away is sine. So using this principle, we can go for solving the problems. Along and away. So these are your mantra to solve the problems in engineering mechanics. Along, away. Now coming further, if there is a force P1 acting, making certain angles say theta 1. Now I can resolve it horizontally, I can resolve it vertically. So this is known as the horizontal component of force PH1, and this force we call it as PV1. I'll take any other force again, P, same P2, making an angle of theta 2. I can resolve this horizontally. This will be PH2, and if I resolve it vertically, this will be PV2. If I take one more force, P3, making an angle of theta 3. I can resolve it horizontally as PH3 and I can resolve it vertically PV3. Like this I can go on taking any number of forces. Now how many forces are simultaneously acting at this point? P1, P2 and P3. And we know if a number of forces are acting, we can convert all the force into a single force known as the resultant force. Suppose if I replace all these forces and if I show a resultant like this, R, making an angle theta. Now I can resolve this or resultant also horizontally. If I project it horizontally, this will be P R H and this will be RV. So RH is the horizontal component of the resultant, RV is the vertical component of the resultant. Instead of giving notation RH, I will write it as sigma H and RV I will represent it as sigma V. Now, if you see here, the horizontal component of all the forces, the horizontal component of the resultant, that is sigma H, this is nothing but PH1 plus PH2 plus PH3. If I go on adding all PH1, PH2, PH3, that is equal to RH. Likewise, the vertical component of the force sigma V, if I give the notation, so this will be PV1 plus PV2 plus PV3 plus it goes on like this. So horizontal component of the resultant is equal to sigma H, vertical component of all the forces is equal to sigma V. Now here if you see R, the resultant is hypotenuse, so hypotenuse square will be equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. So here R I can write is equal to RH square plus RV square. That is Pythagoras theorem. So R is equal to RH square plus RV square. So R is equal to under root sigma H square plus sigma V square. Sigma H square plus sigma V square. So whenever you want to find out the resultant, you will have to find out sigma H and sigma V. Now what is sigma H? You go on adding all the horizontal components of the forces, that will be sigma H. You go on adding all the vertical component of all the forces, you get sigma V. So unless you split the force, you cannot find out the resultant here. So this is giving you magnitude. Now we'll go for direction. What is tan theta? Theta is angle made by the resultant. So tan theta is equal to, tan is opposite by adjacent. Opposite is how much? Sigma V and adjacent is sigma H. So these two formulas will help us to determine what is the magnitude of the resultant and what is the direction of the resultant. Now here using this, you can find out the resultant of the system of forces. We can see it in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe for the channel. Press the bell icon for any notification or any doubts. Thank you.